Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, didn't expect that Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers coming in to Baltimore and the Orioles taking 2 games from them. Holy shit. And you know what? 2 games late, as in the 9th inning, as in walk-offs. Wow. Just haven't seen that much from this Orioles team. That many walk-offs late in the game. Or either one. Walk-offs or late inning rallies. Well, maybe the 30th anniversary of Cal Ripken's streak. Maybe, again, Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers coming into town, you elevated your play. Let's get right to it. You see, I'm on MessageSports.com. Here's Game 1. Los Angeles Dodgers 1. Baltimore Orioles 2. Low-scoring affairs. Holiday 0 but he did walk twice. Jackson Holiday, and then Jeremiah Jackson, 1 hit. Gunnar Henderson 0 but he walked once. Mountcastle 1 hit. Colton Cowser 0 3 strikeouts. Emmanuel Rivera 1 hit. Dylan Beavers 0 walked twice. Sammy Basayo 1 hit and 1 RBI. Kobe Mayo 1 hit. Well, at least he got the 1 hit. Not doing too much of anything else, but is what it is, I guess. Hopefully he can turn it around. Jorge Mateo pinch running late. Good to see you back. Holy shit. I understand you haven't played baseball in a while, but maybe don't get picked off? Wow. Everybody in that stadium thought you were going to run. Everybody. But you still that far off the base. Okay. But that's what I'm saying, where I think this coaching staff needs to grab the reins a little bit with this running game. Because you have things like this, and then you're giving away outs on the base path. Not great. Luis Vasquez then came in late to play third base, and Rivera moved from third to first. Mountcastle with a double, Sammy Basayo with a home run. Yeah, walk-off home run. Henderson Holiday with stolen bases. Mateo caught stealing. Mateo picked off. Holiday fielding error that didn't really affect anything. Dean Kramer got to start in this game. Did not last long. Left with some kind of forearm issue. Got some information. I'll talk about it in the articles when I get there. Only able to go 3 innings in this game. Giving up no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Very disappointing that he couldn't stick around because he was pitching pretty well. And again, pitching to Basayo. So maybe those two are getting on the same page a little bit better. Dietrich Enns didn't do that well in relief. A little bit shaky, though he had to get ready in somewhat of a hurry, even though he really had as long as he really needed. Pitching 2 innings out of the pen, the full 4th and then the full 5th. Giving up 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, which is not good at all. And 1 strikeout. Cade Stroud in after Enns, so pitching the full 6 and then 1 out into the 7th. Does give up the 2 hits, but no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. All right. Much better outing for you, Cade Stroud. Good job. Grant Wolfram in to finish off the 7th inning, so the last 2 outs, so 2/3 of an innings pitched. Does give up a hit, but no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Rico Garcia in for the 8th. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Yennier Cano, or is it Yennier Cano, in for the 9th inning. All right. A few times pitching well in the 9th inning. All right. That's good. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Let's talk a bit about the scoring here in the 5th. Yes, the Dodgers only were able to put up 1 run on the board. Here is how the Orioles got their 1 run. And, of course, it was in the half inning before the Dodgers got their 1 run. That's not a good thing. But you can see Kobe Mayo popping out, then Jackson Holliday walking, and then Jeremiah Jackson flying out, and then Gunnar Henderson walking. So you got first and second. So with 2 outs, you're doing a double steal. Which, yes, if I had my way, they would not be running as much. Now, would this have worked out? Was this a smart way to do it? Well, to a certain extent, the Dodgers are kind of getting pretty far down on their depth chart at catcher. Their primary catcher out, so their backup is in there, and their backup actually left the game. So, this is a relatively smart play. Actually, I don't think, what's his name, Freddie Fermin had come out of the game yet here. Not Freddie Freeman, Freddie Fermin. Right? That is his name. Or whoever is catching. Oh, I'm sorry, Dalton Rushing. And then Wortvet was their catcher. I guess Fermin played for the Padres. Get my catchers confused. So, Holliday and Gunnar Henderson pull off the double steal. Well, it was kind of a wild pitch. That's why they did it. And to his credit, maybe it's because when you go in the third, your peripheral vision, you can kind of see the plate area. Holliday got his head up, which is, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, going to third base. It's a little different when you're running to second base and you're almost practically turning around. It's a little harder to run at the same time. But at third base, the plate is relatively in front of you. Ball gets past the catcher. You don't slow up. I mean, maybe you slowed up a little bit. You don't get into a slide. You round the base and you keep running. How about that? Kids and are running finally gets us a run. Good job. And then in ninth inning here with former Oriole Luke Scott on the mound. Yeah, Luke Scott's the closer now for the Dodgers, who ends up getting Rivera and Beavers out. Swinging. 2 outs. And here comes Sam Basallo with 2 strikes on him. That ball was crushed. It's like he knew that was coming, which is a good thing, because then that's a hitter being involved in the account. Understanding what pitcher has what pitches and where they might like to throw them. And what pitch he might be seeing in a certain count. Okay, that's good. Now, there's getting into game 2 here. There's a bad thing about Sammy Basallo, but I guess sometimes you got to take the good with the bad, don't you? So game 2 here, Los Angeles Dodgers 3, Baltimore Orioles 4. And you can see it right here in the top line. They got all 4 runs in the 9th inning. Who would have thunk it? This Oriole team, 4 runs in the 9th inning when they're losing. Nope. I never would have thought it. I never would have thought it was possible. Not with this group. Oh well. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Of course, this is only one time out of how many. Jackson Holliday hit an RBI. Jeremiah Jackson 1 hit. Daniel Johnson pinch running late, which is somewhat surprising because you're not doing... I don't feel you're exchanging a whole lot of speed there. Now, to a certain extent, you probably feel that Daniel Johnson is a better outfielder, so there's defensive replacement. And they even mentioned on a broadcast, and you had Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, and Jim Palmer on the broadcast because Cal Ripken 30th anniversary game. Cal Ripken Jr. in his 30th anniversary of breaking Lou Gehrig's record mentioned that, well, yeah, you're going to probably put in Daniel Johnson for a defensive replacement, so you might as well put him in a little earlier and use that speed on the base path, which it's fine. I do know going to be a little aggressive on the base paths and a little less experience, like sliding off bags and stuff. So, but you got away with it here. Gunnar Henderson, Ofer. Not great, but okay. He got hit by a pitch. Got hit by a pitch later in the game. It really helped. Mountcastle over, but he did walk once. Alex Jackson coming in late. Wait. Oh, he had to go in. Wait. What the hell did I do here? That's weird. Because I don't know if I remember some of this shit. But yeah, Alex Jackson. Why did Jackson go in for Mountcastle? That's weird. I don't remember why Alex Jackson went in for Mountcastle. That doesn't make any sense at all. He would have to go in for Basayo. But then why is he... I can't remember what happened here. But this is goofy. And then you pinch run Mateo, which is fine. Alex Jackson ends up with 2 plate appearances. What the hell happened here? Yeah, Alex Jackson in there, and then Kobe Mayo. What does this website do? Yeah, Alex Jackson didn't go in for Mountcastle. Because you see right here, because I have the 9th inning pulled up on this other page. Alex Jackson, then Kobe Mayo, and then Jackson Holiday. Alex Jackson didn't go in for Mountcastle, but that's the way they're lining it up here. Very confusing. Mateo comes in and pinch runs late for somebody. Had to be Mountcastle. Which, wow, that's a little screwed up. Oh well, my bad for not being on top of that. Colt Kowser over, but he does have an RBI and a walk. Yep. Get to that in a minute. Manny Rivera hit 2 RBIs. Yep. It's the hero of that night. Dylan Beavers over, but he did have a walk. Sammy Basayo over. He did have a walk. He had to leave the game, and Alex Jackson comes into play for Sammy Basayo. So this Alex Jackson line here should be down here under Basayo. Basayo on an attempted bunt from a Dodger hitter. I don't remember who it was. Has his right arm dangling, not necessarily dangling, but out in front of him, about at his waist. And of course, not supposed to do that. You're supposed to have your arm behind you because you don't want to take a ball off the throwing hand. What does Basayo do? He has his hand out there in front of him. There are runners on, so I assume he has it out in front of him, so his motion to throw to second base or wherever is quicker. But the batter fouls the bunt off, and it hits Basayo in the hand, and he can't stay in the game. Can't throw. That's a big thing. And that's why you don't have your hand, your right hand, your throwing hand. Well, you don't see many left-handed catchers, if any, just because it's so weird. It's such a different angle when so many other catchers are right-handed. If every catcher was left-handed, then, it wouldn't be a big deal. But you got to have that right hand tucked behind you. Otherwise, it's going to get hit. You don't want that, because then it's hard to throw the baseball. And you can't have a catcher that can't throw. Hopefully, he'll learn from his mistakes. He had to learn it the hard way, but hopefully he'll learn from this. Kobe Mayo all the way down in a 9-hole, over. Very disappointing that Kobe Mayo isn't doing anything. So let's get to this 9th inning. Yeah, Dodgers are 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. Orioles getting no hit. No hit. With 2 outs in the 9th inning. No hits. Alex Jackson strikes out. Kobe Mayo flies up. Again, no hits up to that point. None. Was the pitcher being extended a little bit? And there was a Mr. Yamamoto, another international free agent, This time signed by the Dodgers, the big money team. The Dodgers spending a lot of money on that. Well, good. I'm glad it didn't work out for you. Excuse me. Yeah, he's definitely extended. He was up over 100. How many pitches did he end up throwing? 112. 112 pitches. Yes. Really extended. Jackson Holliday takes him deep. Well, that's what happens when he's throwing 100-something pitches trying to get through a no-hitter. It happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and you can throw a lot less pitches. But he was at the point where he was throwing a lot of pitches. Did that affect the Orioles' ability to come back in this game? Almost certainly it did. You got a pitcher that's getting tired. It's good to see that the Orioles capitalize off of that. To a certain extent, it is somewhat similar to a mistake pitch and the hitter capitalizing off that. It's good that the Orioles could capitalize off of that. So Holiday homer to center field, breaking up the no-hitter and the shutout and extending the game. More importantly, Jeremiah Jackson double. Daniel Johnson pinch running for him. Gunnar Henderson pinch hit. Ryan Mountcastle walk. Bases loaded. Jorge Mateo pinch running for Mountcastle. Yeah, I don't know. They screwed that up on that other page. I don't know. Colton Cowser walks. That's how he gets his RBI. Yeah, you get an RBI on a walk. Yeah, we all know a run scores a walk with bases loaded. Who would have known that you could get a run batted in for a walk? You literally don't put the ball in the play and you get an RBI. But there are times where you can put the ball in play and not get an RBI for run scores. Weird, isn't it? Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Manuel Rivera, man of the night, coming up with the clutchest 2-out hit in, well, recent memory. Anyway, yeah, base hit right up the middle. Very exciting. It's probably the most excited I've been watching an Oriole game this year. And it took this long. Yeah. Into September. That's not a good thing. It's really not. But it is what it is, and you bask in the glow of the awesomeness of the night. And then come to game 3. Dodgers finally turn it around as Los Angeles Dodgers 5, Baltimore Orioles 2. Yeah, Orioles also with 2 errors in this game. That's what happens when you talk about Gunnar Henderson's errorless streak so much, he makes an error. Right on cue. That's not that funny. Jeremiah Jackson leading off. Did they give Jackson Holliday a day off? Wow. Clayton Kershaw on the mound, so very tough. Old lefty, but a very good pitching mind. Very good pitching mind. So, yes, tough lefty. Jeremiah Jackson, 0 for 2 strikeouts. Ryan Mountcastle in a 2-hole. 0 for 3 strikeouts. Gunnar Henderson, 1 hit. Manuel Rivera, 2 hits and an RBI. Huh. Well, how about that? Manuel Rivera's hot. Alex Jackson hitting an RBI. Dylan Carlson, 1 hit and a walk. All right. Yeah. Mayo, 1 hit. All right, cool. Jorge Mateo playing center field. 1 hit. Luis Vasquez getting the start at second base. 1 hit. Jackson, as in Jeremiah Jackson, as in Alex Jackson, and Rivera with doubles. Only extra base hits to speak of. Again, Clayton Kershaw. I mean, at this point in his career, Clayton Kershaw really classifies as a crafty lefty. Errors by Jackson, a throwing error, as in Alex Jackson. And Gunnar Henderson with his throwing error. The Alex Jackson's back pick throwing it into the outfield. Yeah, disappointing. Tomoyuki Sagano getting the start in this game, only able to go 3 innings before he gets hit in the foot by a ball. Wow. Up to this series, Kramer and Sagano were some of the only pitchers not to go on the injured list this year to spend the whole time with the team. And they both get taken out of the game. Wow, it just will not end. This is the season from hell as far as injuries are concerned. Holy shit. Can somebody just not be injured and go the whole year playing? No, apparently not. That's awesome. Sagano only able to go 3 innings. Probably best that he didn't go longer. Giving up 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs. 0 walks, and only 1 strikeout. Not the greatest performance, even before he got hit. Grant Wolfram in first man out of the pen, pitching the... Sagano actually gets hit in the 4th, but since he didn't record an out, he doesn't really get credited for pitching there, though the runs still count. Wolfram pitching the full 4th and 5th inning, does give up 1 hit, but no runs, walks 1, and strikes out 2. So nice performance. Because, yeah, there were 2 runners on when Wolfram comes into the game. Disappointing, but it is what it is. Cade Stroud, next man out of the pen. Another good outing from Cade Stroud. Good. Stack some of these good outings. Build your confidence. And build the general manager or manager's confidence in you. As I said, Cade Stroud 1 full inning. Pitched the 6th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. How about that? Keegan Aiken in for the 7th inning, pitching the full 7th inning. No hits, no runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Yennier Cano in for the 8th inning, pitching the full 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeouts. Rico Garcia in for the 9th inning. Disappointing. We had so many great outings from you, Rico Garcia. Pitching the full 9th inning, does give up 2 hits, 1 more run. Not that there were any late inning heroics from the Orioles bats. And then 1 walk, no strikeouts. Well, it's just nice to see that in the last 6 games here, 3 against the San Diego Padres, 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you won 5 of those games. Where the hell was that type of play early in the year? I don't know, but I wish they would have played like that the whole year. All right, let's get to some articles here. This article here, written by Rockabacco. Let's consult my notes here. Talking about, I want to call him Dylan McDermott again. Chase McDermott. His name is Chase Dermott. Chase McDermott, who actually spent a bit of time on the medical taxi squad because of Dean Kramer's injury, which appeared he actually is going back, or has gone back to AAA Norfolk already. So Kramer seemed... McDermott's role has changed a bit. In the past, the Orioles have been using McDermott as a starter, both for a few starts up here with the Orioles and down there with the Tides in the minor leagues starting. The past, 2 weeks? They've worked on converting Chase McDermott into a relief pitcher. And according to Rockabacco in this article here, at the time this was written, this was November. Not November. This isn't November. Obviously, this is not November yet. September 6th, a little before 5 p.m., Rock writes this. 11 appearances, or the last 11 appearances here, for McDermott in the minor league, pitching 1 inning-ish at a time in relief, only giving up 1 run. That's okay. All right. Somewhat, it happens, right? You fail as a starter, or you just get to a point where it's, why try this anymore? Try relief role. See if you can be any better. Well, 11 appearances, 1 run given up. I'd say that's an improvement. That's good. And the Orioles are going to need to revamp the bullpen next year. They really are. Saw the article here by Rockabacco talking about Gary Sanchez and Adley Rutschman. Gary Sanchez getting close to a rehab assignment. Not that it really matters. I mean, there's 2 weeks left in the season. Or 3 weeks? 3-ish weeks left in the baseball year. Or the regular season anyway. Adley Rutschman hitting balls off the tee. So he also nearing a comeback. This article here written by Rock Kabatko as well, giving updates on a few injuries. I don't know, those are long notes and I'm writing so small, so I have room on the piece of paper for other notes. I haven't written them yet. Basayo, it appears that hit on the finger, more the finger, the index finger, or the knuckle part of the index finger. It does not appear that he will need injured list time. X-rays came back negative, so that's a good thing. Relatively the same for Dean Kramer. MRI revealed nothing that would lead us to think that he would need to go on the injured list. He also played catch. So, again, as of the time this article is written, and I haven't seen any updates, because this is a few days later. I'm speaking to you a few days after. It's the 8th now. It would appear that both Kramer and Basayo are going to miss the injured list, which is a good thing. Also talking about O'Neill, going to do a rehab assignment, actually starting his rehab assignment already, did one game with the Chesapeake Bay Sox, and is going to move up to AAA real soon. Colin Selby, also going to be starting the rehab this coming week. Good for him. Westberg doing some fielding out there with Tony Mansolino. Getting somewhat close to coming back to action, but not quite there yet for Westberg. This article here as well for Rakabako, an update on Sagano getting hit on the foot. He left with the injury, but apparently, the x-rays are negative, so see what happens. Since he is the most recent pitcher, Sunday, another 6 days, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday coming up will be his next turn in the rotation. Kramer is the plan right now is to have Suarez start it. They didn't want to just bump somebody, probably because of the Sagano injury, because they might have to do that here for Sagano. So keep an eye on the rotation and what the Orioles are actually going, or what they end up doing. All right, let's get to the schedule. Getting through this. Yep, still haven't fixed it. I don't know how to get 2025 on this schedule. I mean, this is the drop-down menu is for teams, not for the year. This is next year's schedule. I don't understand. Oh well. Let's go to ESPN. I like the way they do their schedule. Thank you, ESPN.com, and your MLB schedule. This is the Orioles version because, you go to ESPN, MLB/team/schedule. Bam, here you go, right here. And I think one of the reasons I do like it, it does tell you a TV provider like a Fox, MLB Network, FS1, if it's something different, and pitcher probables. That's cool. It's pretty neat. I like that. Gonna have Monday. Today is the off day, and then a 3-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tuesday's game scheduled 6:35. Wednesday's game scheduled 6:35. Thursday's game scheduled 1:05. And then no off day, and then you're going up to Toronto. So that'll be a fun trip. Sure. No rest for the wicked, I guess. But that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Friday, and I will talk about the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.